Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Going On Daily Live. My name is Becky. I'm here with Luannah, and this
Hi,
is
everybody.
another Canadian edition of Going On Daily.
Woo!
Woo, woo. We have very few of these Canadian editions, so this is nice, a nice
Thanks.
treat again. So we
Awesome.
got a really good show today for us. We've got some talk about fear, we've got some daily affirmations, and then I'm talking boundaries. So boundaries are a big one, bad for someone like me who has very shaky boundaries. Maybe I could learn from you in our time together here. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. We're talking about different cultures who set different boundaries here. So I'm looking forward to reading those to you. We may as well just dive right into it since we're having all this talk on boundaries. So the country in question today, or the topic of choice today, is Japan. So I've never been to Japan. How about you? You're fairly well
No,
traveled.
no, I haven't. Well, actually, in an airport and a hotel for one night. But my
Oh,
husband's
okay.
Japanese, so he lived there for many years.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay, so tell me if these are actually true then. So I came across this article talking about a lot of the no's of
Mhm,
Japan, the things that you're not allowed to do. And it got me thinking, oh, we have such little boundaries here,
mhm. Yeah.
especially like as Canadians. I don't know about you, but it's always about like the people pleasing,
Yes,
making
yes,
sure that everyone is happy, right?
yes. It's
Um,
different, and I lived in Germany, and also they have very strong boundaries. Like it's
I
very
can
clear,
imagine.
very
Every
defined.
German that I have met, I
Yeah.
can imagine. Yeah. So hopefully, like you can ask him about these after, maybe you even know. So the first one that I came across was talking in elevators. It's a big no-no.
Hmm.
Apparently, elevator is a quiet zone. Even when you're with your friends on an elevator, it's quiet, just out of
Yes.
respect to everybody else that's there. What do you think
It's
of that?
true. It's true. Yeah, our son was just there. He's
Hmm.
actually my stepson. He was with his mother. His mother's part Japanese, Peruvian, and my husband's Japanese, Peruvian as well.
Oh, wow.
And so he was just there, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, it's like you can't talk anywhere." It's like,
Interesting.
and looking at each other too is kind of like, everything's like sort of looking the other way, and not really
Wow.
different social cues, completely different than here. He was saying.
Completely different, and I'm picturing, like again, I've never been, but, like, a New York, for example, where it's like, you look at someone, it's like fight time. In
Although I
Japan,
don't think
it's
it's
like
fight time, I think it's more, because they're not really fighters in that way from what I know and
right,
experience, but there's more like rightness and wrongness, right? A
right.
strong and then there's a different tone of frequency if you've done something wrong,
So
right? It's
interesting.
not fighting, but just like you know it, you feel it kind of thing is
Yeah,
what I've come to understand through my husband. He lived there
that's
for 5
cool.
years as well. Yeah.
Well,
So
this article says, like, Japan's culture is built on respect and harmony and then consideration for others,
mhm,
something that's very different than
mhm,
North
mhm,
America, I would
mhm,
say. It's why like a lot of things that we think are normal, like talking in an elevator, being on your phone in an elevator,
mhm.
carrying on your conversation, why, it's sort of seen as taboo or it's avoided in
It's
Japan.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I
And I don't
mean,
even know if it's not I don't know if it's just about right or wrong, it's just the way. It's just
yeah, it's just the way. Exactly.
it's just the way of being with each other. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Here's another one. This, I mean, in Canada, and I've heard the States too. This seems like it's getting out of hand, but tipping culture. It says that
Mhm.
in Japan, tipping is not allowed. It might even be considered rude because exceptional service is already included, and you don't need to pay extra for that.
I've heard about that, but I don't know. But I have heard about that as well.
A
Yeah.
lot of places, well, again, you lived in Germany. I'm
Mhm.
sure, like there, like tipping is not. It's
It's
usually
not
included,
usual. Yeah, yeah.
right?
You don't usually get tips. You got, already back then I was in my 20s and I already got $25 an hour ratio.
Wow.
That was back then. That was in the 1990s. So
Jeez.
it was like, I would work for 6 months and then go travel for 6
Of
months.
course, why not?
So
And it's so easy to commute, to the
all
other
around the world from
European
Germany, yeah. But I
crazy.
would still get some tips, and one year I
Mm,
bartended, and bartending I got lots of tips.
for sure.
But
Yeah,
but
that
but
makes more
generally
sense.
it's not considered, a must. You don't have to. People aren't
Well,
offended if you don't.
I mean, like, right now, like, tipping culture is out of control right now.
Mhm.
Like, Subway is asking for it. Like,
I know
yesterday,
that.
I went to a
Yeah.
concert at, like, the hockey arena, where it already cost me, I kid you not, $13 for a bag of popcorn.
Wow.
13. And then it asked for a tip on top of that. And I thought to fill up, no, not even fill up. They were pre-filled popcorns. And then they put the butter on top. That's what they did. And they're asking for a tip. And then
Yeah.
it goes through my head, oh, I should tip them. And then I thought, are you
Oh,
insane?
wait a minute. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Insane.
I've come to that juncture many times at different places too. Some places I'm happy to give tips because there's the effort and everything, but other times I'm like, really?
To
Yeah,
me, like
makes sense.
Subway, I always end up tipping at Subway just because they're still packaging up my food before I give them their money. So I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't want them to get mad at me and touch my food or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
But like, I mean, getting a tip for doing your job is wild to me, where like going out of your way to do an extra service,
it is
that is
usually
worth
for.
the tip.
Yes.
Like a server who's brought you multiple refills and brought your food and sees how your food is doing and stuff like that, but not just like putting some condiments on a bread.
Or
Like that.
somebody who even just gives warmth and goodness, right? Like not attitude,
Yes.
right? So even just that nice service is also worth a tip,
Well, and
right?
that's the other thing too. Like, where's the warmth in customer
Yeah,
service now? Like, they don't even make eye contact, and then they want a tip for what?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then I feel guilty, like, oh, I didn't tip them.
yeah. No,
Like,
I've
it shouldn't cost me extra money for an already expensive meal,
yes,
like that
yeah,
I'm picking up myself, that I'm standing here ordering. Like, it's crazy to me.
yes, yes,
So
yeah.
I like that in Japan. No tipping money is required, and it might even be considered rude.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
here's another one, and would be a nice one for a lot of places. Here, no talking on the phone on public transport. A big no-no to speak on your phone on trains and buses. Silence is golden on the Japanese transit.
Yeah, well, again, my son said everything was quiet on the subways and nobody spoke and things like that. So from what he shared when he came back, I can say that that's true. Yeah.
That's interesting. Now, I wonder if everyone's just listening to headphones or if they're actually just like practicing silence.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Japan the Japanese people are very mindful culture, right? So
Right.
so they've developed mindfulness over centuries. So I don't even
Mm.
know if it's even an effort for them to do that because it's an ingrained aspect of their being
I
just to
find
be
even
present and mindful.
for me, like I complain about my kids all the time, like needing constant stimulation, but I'm the same way. Like put me in a quiet situation and then I'm like, where's my phone? I need something. And so yeah, trying to practice quietness, that mindfulness, that's tough. That
Yeah.
is hard work.
Well, especially in our world of distraction, right? And we're constantly
Yeah.
getting all the dopamine hits and all the stimulation, and it's how we feel alive now with our phones and things like that.
Yeah.
We feel engaged, and there's a beauty to it, and there's a
Yeah,
shadow to it,
for
right?
sure.
It's
There
got
is.
both sides. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. I actually read an article the other day that talked about how uh the dopamine hit or whatever from watching reels, like shorts, quick under 1 minute videos, is actually more damaging to the brain than alcoholism. I don't know what kind of long-term study they have on that.
Yeah.
But just that like constant like hit, 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 hit. Like it's no wonder we're bored all the time. No wonder like we can't go 10
Everybody has such a
seconds
short
without this.
attention span too, right?
Yeah.
So I have a favorite TV shows from the I think it was late 80s, 90s. It's called Twice in a Lifetime.
Okay.
And it's a show where that you see somebody's life in the beginning, they die, they go to this in between place, and they get a chance to go back to redirect
Oh,
their past self to correct an error that they made.
that's
It's a
cool.
really beautiful show. And back then, between the scenes, there's literally like 20 seconds, 15, 20 seconds pause in between each new scene.
Mm,
So it's like now, right now, our TVs are like boom, 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 boom. Your brain is just all over the place. There's just no rest point. But back
yeah.
then, we had rest points. It was
Interesting.
into the show. And so I recently started watching, like, wow. And the first time, like, well, this is a little uncomfortable. My brain is
Yeah.
wired and waiting. It's like the horse at the gate waiting to, be able
Yeah.
to see it. And I'm like, oh wow, like, wait, am I going to lean into this? I'm like, oh, this is actually really nice to have
Right.
that mental pause before from that scene to this one. Right, where I guess it used to be the commercial. So, but in the replays, they still have that space, and it's really
Yeah.
quite lovely, right? But we're so over inundated with stimulus that
Yes.
our adrenal systems are also getting burned out because it's
Yes.
activating adrenaline and cortisol release. So we're not
Oh, very
we're not
much so.
yeah, we're not getting enough of the, the nourishing hormones and oxytocin and, those kind of things that we need to be able to have more coherency in ourselves,
This
basically.
is why, like, I feel so blah coming back from a place like Las Vegas, for example,
Mm.
because number one, I got no grass to put my feet in. Number two, like,
I'm
I'm
like you
just
there too. Yeah.
overstimulated constantly there. It's
Yeah.
just people and noise and like the sound of the VLTs and the just the lights, like everything. And it's like even last night I went to a concert and like I love music, I love concerts, but I was like, there's 16,000 people here. The music is really loud. The lights are going crazy. I'm just kind of thinking, I wish I was watching this from my couch or like from
Right.
a private box somewhere
Right.
where it was like me and maybe my husband and maybe my dad, so it was a bizarre realization for me yesterday, like how much I actually value that silence.
Yeah. And just the pause, right? A lot of the time I talk
Yeah.
about the pause, like we're bringing back the pause in our life, right?
Yeah.
Because without it, we're just like hamsters on a wheel.
Yes. Totally. You know what?
I'm
I
like,
love I love reading, but like I never take that moment to read. I'll
right,
start and then it's like, oh, I should check my phone for something. And then I
right,
do. And then I'm just looking at reels. I'm like, I don't even care about these. These are stupid
yeah,
videos. But
yeah. One of the things that I do is I don't look at my phone for the first hour after I wake up.
that's actually very healthy.
I let my brain acclimate to the natural light, and
Yes.
I have my tea. I play with my kitties and my puppy and my birds. I got a
Mhm.
whole zoo here at my home. Got lots of animals, but
That's smart.
yeah, but the overstimulation, we don't even know what we're thinking anymore. It's like we have all these background thoughts that are just on automatic, and we don't question them anymore. And
Yeah.
it's a kind of neuroses that we're caught in
Yeah,
because
literally.
we're not present anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's very damaging, especially to younger minds. I mean, older minds too. I mean, I'm pushing 40 and I feel like I'm constant stimulation. Even like we watched a TV show and it's like, why do I have my phone with me? And then I'm like asking my husband, what did I just see? And he's like, put your phone away. And I'm like, I can't, I need it. Like, and so I'm like trying to focus more on like silence and
right.
breaks, little pauses in life.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's a hard one. So maybe I need to go spend some time in Japan.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
another one I'm really bad for, but eating while walking, that is a no-no. Apparently, eating on the go is considered messy and disrespectful. You're
Oh, wow.
expected to stop and eat quietly in one spot. And it makes sense.
Totally makes sense. Yeah.
I quickly ate on the road yesterday on my way to the concert, and I was like wearing a white shirt, and I'm like, do not spill, do not spill. But I'm driving, and I'm like, I've got like sauce like going everywhere, and it was a mess. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I could have just eaten when I got there.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember we have a young woman staying with us from Germany, and
Mm.
she's here, and she's like, what is it with the to-go coffee? Like,
Oh, really?
it's not that big of a thing over there. She's like, it's kind of crazy, right? Everybody goes out to have a coffee. What about having coffee at home? And so
Right.
she observed that. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. I'm so normalized to it too. I didn't think of it anymore. But in Germany, when I
Yeah.
lived there, when I think back, we didn't do that, either.
Yeah,
And
you
so
probably pop into a cafe and
you sit and chat
enjoy.
with a friend. You don't
Yes.
sit on the phone with each with each other like I see here all the time too. Which is pretty incredible. The other day I was in our beautiful local cafe, and there were three friends, people who I know from Germany, who were visiting as well, and they all ordered their food and their coffee, and they just sat on the sofas and looked at their phones together. And I was like, wow. I mean, cafes are for conversation, right? It's where you
Conversation, exactly,
right?
socialization.
So seeing that was kind of, yeah, I was like, wow,
It's
okay.
bizarre.
It's, but it's not the coffee way that I know and that I enjoy, right? It's nice to go and
Exactly.
chat or even meet strangers and have a conversation that's like, hey, yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's cool when you go to like a German beer hall and they've got those long tables. Like you're forced to sit with people that are not in your party, which is, sometimes some of the best people you can meet, right? Like you might not normally meet somebody like that, but you get the chance to going to a place like that. So,
yeah,
I mean, we have a lot to learn from Asian and European cultures for sure. Canada and and America are so far behind.
yeah.
Like
I always
so
call them the adolescents of the planet, right? They're the teenagers that aren't listening to the elders, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
they're
really.
not experience. Yeah.
Ron says he loves German beer, not Heineken. I don't think Heineken is German. I think
No,
it's
that's from
like,
Holland,
yeah,
Denmark.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say it's Dutch, is it not? Or
Dutch,
Belgian or something?
yeah, Dutch.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. There's no trash bins or garbage cans around, but there's no litter also. So, despite the lack of public garbage, Japan is incredibly clean. People are expected to carry their trash home with them. That
Mhm.
one is interesting. I would love to know if that's, accurate in every part. I know like some other Asian cultures, like Singapore, for example, like you can't even chew gum in Singapore. It's like a big fine or like big trouble if you
Really?
were ever caught chewing gum and then spit it on the ground. Oh my gosh, like jail
Wow,
time.
wow.
Yeah. We're here. It's just like, oh, we have no boundaries. Also, just throw your trash wherever.
Right, right. Yeah, even here on the island, so, it's a small island, we're just 1,000 people, and it used
Mm.
to be very hidden, but in the last years, we have a restaurant that went globally known, and so now we have
Oh,
more tourism, which on one hand is beautiful, but I'm seeing people just throwing pop cans into the side of the road into the forest.
my gosh.
So my drive down island, I keep seeing all this garbage. I'm like, "Where?"
What,
Like,
like, what is wrong with people? I don't understand this.
it's just like it doesn't yeah, it's or even boundaries. Yesterday, I came off the island and I'm driving off, and there's these 6 kids, maybe 18, 19, and they see I'm coming, and they still cross the road where there's no crosswalk, making me have to stop. And I said, "Hey, guys," I said, "I know this is the island, but the, traffic laws are still the same," and they cursed me. And I'm
Oh,
just like, it's like, really? So there's boundaries, right? It's like there's no boundary.
right.
People feel entitled to just
Very.
just react and be aggressive versus, the most common sense thing would be say, "Oh, yeah, sorry, you're right." Right?
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, I didn't see you
Or
come.
even
Or
say,
just
or
wait till you've
or
driven past.
yeah, it's like yeah, or just even acknowledge, "Oh, sorry," or something, but they were so aggressive, and I'm
Oh
like,
my goodness.
"Wow." It's
I
like
am
this
constantly telling my kids, do not be on your phone in a parking lot because people are not paying attention. Like, luckily for those kids yesterday, you were paying attention. But, like, what if you would also look down at your phone and then you just smash it?
exactly,
I don't, I
exactly,
don't get
yeah,
what's happening to the
yeah.
world, these
But
phones,
I
man.
like your topic of boundaries because it's true, or even in relationships, relationships we're there to be our best with each other and to bring
Hmm.
out the best. But what I
Hmm.
noticed here, and I work with a lot of couples as well, is there's a certain complacency that comes in,
Hmm.
and neither is respected for their boundaries anymore. And then
Hmm.
and then there's this entitlement to just give the worst to each other. And so it's an interesting dynamic, right? And
Hmm.
they give the best outside of themselves to everybody in the world, but not within their own relationship. So it's just
Hmm.
boundaries. Like it's like their boundaries are beautiful when they define a space that can create connection
For
and
sure. And
goodness, right?
harmony and
And
peace.
harmony. And
Yes.
and to have a clear no, well, that doesn't work here, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Well, it's
like
interesting as I try to set more boundaries, how bad I feel. Like even the tipping thing, like it
mm,
should be a boundary for me not to tip for service not earned.
yeah,
And yet I feel bad for it. Or like telling people, you know what, I just don't have the mental energy to help you with that. I shouldn't
yes.
feel bad for it. I do though all the time.
No, but we have a bit of a guilt culture here.
Yes, we do
We
also.
have, guilt-driven culture
Yeah.
that, is, you got to feel bad for everything.
Yeah,
I remember
exactly.
when I was in Germany and I was waitressing there, and one of the waitresses was saying, "Would you stop saying sorry?" I was saying sorry for everything,
Like
even if
it's
I
just
wasn't
bred
in the
into
way.
me.
But this little things. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. She's like,
Yeah, I'm not even
"Stop
sorry,
saying
but I
sorry."
have to say it. Yeah.
There's nothing
That's
to
so
say
funny
sorry
that
for.
we're like that.
Yeah.
Sharon is here. Hi, Sharon. She says, one of my exchange students from China literally got scared when I walked on the grass. He wouldn't say what happens in China when you walk on the grass, but he was definitely scared. Wow.
Oh,
That's
wow.
interesting. And well, so speaking of walking, another one of these Japanese boundaries is no shoes indoors. Now, Canadians, this makes sense to us, but to some of our American listeners, they're probably like, what? You're not allowed shoes indoors? It says in homes, traditional inns, temples, and even some restaurants, shoes come off at the entrance,
Yes.
which I
Yeah.
like. Shoes are
Yeah.
dirty. Yuck.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
touch the grossest things with your feet.
Yeah, yeah. I lived in Thailand, and even there you do that too. You take your shoes off at the
Yeah.
door everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even see this one. I must have passed it. This fits in perfectly to what you were saying. No crossing the street outside of your crosswalks.
Yeah.
Now, jaywalking, obviously, it's the rule everywhere.
Mm,
However, it says jaywalking is very rare and heavily discouraged. People wait patiently even when the street is empty. And so
right.
it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is the last one for this topic. No loud or public displays of affection. Kissing, hugging, speaking loudly in public spaces is frowned upon and seen as disruptive. Now, there was this couple in front of us yesterday at the concert. Every 10 seconds, they would like look at each other and kiss. And I'm with my dad, and he's like, "What is with these two?" And I'm like, "I have no idea. They've probably been drinking. They're very excited. Music makes you feel a certain way. Drinking makes you feel a certain way. It was a little extreme. It was a little public for sure."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, it sounds like Japan is a place that I want to go, spend some time, some relaxation time, some
Yeah.
downtime.
Yeah. It's beautiful. And
It
they
sounds
went
amazing.
to Okinawa as well. And so
Hmm.
I can send some pictures of that and some videos, and it's like a Hawaii. It's
Oh,
so
very cool.
beautiful there. I never, when I think of Japan, I just always seem to think of industry,
For
right?
sure. Like
Like city
busyness,
and
like a
busyness
Times
and
Square.
everything. And so when he showed us this video, it's like I had this like wow, oh my God,
Cool.
it's really beautiful. So yeah.
There's talks in my family that we want to go. My brother and sister-in-law want to go to Tokyo Disney, I think it is. They love Disney. And so they've asked us to go with. Now, I don't fly well. My husband doesn't eat well because he's allergic to everything. So I don't know how this will go, but possibly next year, maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
I'd like to. Now that I'm hearing about all this stuff, I mean, it sounds pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Sounds like a restful vacation from our usual Vegas. So it sounds pretty okay.
Yeah. Oh, and I had a thought we were talking about Vegas. So if you know the biology, we're taking in over 300 million bits of information every second, whether we know it or not.
Oh, wow.
So it's no wonder when you're in LA, just imagine all the information that you're not even aware of that your body is processing.
Too many. Too
That's
many noises, too many
that
sounds,
dream.
too many.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that dream.
you feel overstimulated, and then you add like drinking and being up late and all that walking on top of it.
Yeah.
Like I had a breakdown when it was like 2020. It was already stressful. And I just like remember we were out at a bar and I just like burst into tears and I was like crying. And my husband's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I don't know." It's because I'm overstimulated. And
Yeah.
as someone who normally like thrives in chaos, I found that so bizarre. And since that time, I have found myself like trying to reel it in a heck of a lot more. And now I'm actually like quite bothered by all the chaos. So anyway, it's
Right.
kind of nice. It's a nice evolution for myself anyway.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right, let's dive into you here. Actually, no, before we do that, let's talk about social media. I always forget we do this second. So we are on a ton of different social media platforms now. If you want to watch us live, under us here, we've got Kick, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch, either Rhode Island Broadcasting or RI_broadcasting. And over there on Twitch under Luannah, you can support the show with bits, which only cost a penny, but you can watch the show there live. Now, if you can't watch us live at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, you can listen to us just audio after the fact. So we've got Spotify, Red Circle, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio. Find us at RI Broadcasting. That's a mouthful. Now we also have a ton of social medias that you can check out right under me. U42, Odyssey, Parlor, Space Hey, Gab, MeWe, TikTok, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and of course, Patreon. There's that little orange guy right under me here at RI Broadcasting. You can definitely support the show over there on Patreon. Get yourself some merch from our store. And then Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Broadcasting RI. Follow us there. Then what else have we got? Oh, yes, we have a new Facebook page because ours got scrubbed, going on daily morning show. Eventually, when we get enough followers over there, we can start going live on Facebook again once we build back the trust with Facebook. Finally, support our show on our website at RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net, where you can watch all the episodes and not just going on daily. You can watch all the episodes from all of the shows. My own show is on there. We've got a soccer show now. We've got a sports show. We've got a wrestling show. There's all kinds of different shows on there and also shorts and videos from local filmmakers. You can also donate up to $10 million on that website. So like, I'm not saying you have to go donate $10 million, but like if you have it lying around, I
Yeah,
would.
why not?
Started our Hall of Fame. Okay, that's fun. I'll have to go look at that. So check us out, RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net for our Hall of Fame. Okay, let's get into this one. This is about curing your fear, curing our chicken littles.
Chicken Little,
That's
yeah.
cute.
So our inner Chicken Little. It's a humorous metaphor I use with my clients when we're meeting
No, that's
fear,
cute.
right?
Yeah.
Because we all have that, right? And it's a way to put playfulness into it, because fear
Hmm.
otherwise is this big daunting monster, right?
Yes.
That kind of gobbles up all of our reason and all our capacity to really think. And one of the key thoughts I thought to share, because I was doing this with a client the other day too, I thought this is a really beautiful piece of information to know, is that we're only born with two biological fears:
Mm-hmm.
just the fear of falling and the
Hmm.
fear of a loud noise.
Really?
Everything is just fabricated by our mind or inherited by culture.
Really?
Yeah. And society. Yeah.
Wow.
And when I heard that, I was like, wow. Because we give
That's
so much
interesting.
power and validity to our fears. Like
Right.
we give them the ultimate authority without investigation, right?
Interesting.
And so when I'm working with my clients, and fear is always the big thing that comes up, and fear of not being good
Mm-hmm.
enough, fear of
Mm-hmm.
worst case scenarios happening. And so I like to share the biology so that people can say, oh, I'm not crazy. They can say, oh, this makes sense. This is just what my survival brain is doing.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
so worst case thinking, when we were like, if I was an animal in a burrow, right? Because we have an animal nature, we have the limbic.
Mm-hmm.
I need to identify everything that's wrong before I will go out and enjoy my blueberries.
Mm.
So we have that mechanism. That's what's helping us survive. But in our social culture and the world we live in now, our brain doesn't know how to discern between a real danger and threat or a fabricated one.
Wow.
The same chemical pathways. It's the same activating system. And
That's
so,
wild.
yeah, it is wild, right? And when, so like, I don't know if you've had moments like this, but in my journey, I've had lots of them where, I'm feeling aligned, I'm feeling, in a good place. And then all of a sudden something happens.
And derails.
And like, what happened 5 minutes ago? I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that go? Where did my confidence go, or my knowledge go, or my
Yeah.
understanding, or whatever? And it's because the limbic brain has taken over. But what happens
Crazy.
if we don't understand how our biology works, then we think we're crazy.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
And so a big part of becoming more congruent and coherent in ourselves is understanding what's happening in our biology so that I can be the navigator of it rather than have it hijack me all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a cool fact to realize, like, every thought, every fear is a fabrication of the mind.
I could see that for sure. Like, I would say me in general, fairly confident person, but then your brain starts going.
Mhm.
And then there are all these things. It's like, oh, does my husband not like me anymore?
Yeah.
Because he didn't acknowledge me the same way. And then it's like, oh my gosh, does he have another girlfriend? Does he want to get a divorce? And then it's like your brain starts to go. But it's like, I literally made it up. And like the times that I've asked him things, things I've been insecure about, whatever. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't know. I literally made it up.
Yeah,
So
that's our inner Chicken Little, right? That's
yeah,
that sees anything that's out of the normal, and then we
the
automatically
sky is
put
falling.
negative association as if, and it's
Yeah.
always our fault. It's always us, right? And so to realize we're kind of in our own fear simulation, right? And
Wow.
and to wake up in that moment, like to develop the strategies to interrupt it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that I can at least say in the moment when I'm activated, say, oh, I'm in my limbic brain, and everything I think right now is going to be compromised. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we do whatever strategies, breath work, right, is a big one, because the breath instantly affects our biology.
Right.
Just like a thought. The moment you have a joyful memory, you get like all kinds of happiness, happy hormones in your body. The moment you
True.
think of something you're afraid of, or you're worried about, or a regret of the past, we get other chemicals that then pull us down.
Right.
So understanding that we are the drivers of our body chemistry to a large degree, because our
Crazy.
biology follows our thoughts and our perceptions and our stories
Mm-hmm.
and our beliefs.
Well, I'm thinking of like, common fears. Like Ron's put a few here, like snakes, spiders,
Hmm.
small spaces. I mean, realistically, like I've gone 38 years. I've never come face to face with a snake. Like
Yeah,
spiders, I've seen plenty of spiders. None of them have ever hurt me
yeah,
by any means, right? Like dying, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are scared of dying, but it's kind of just more the unknown of it. And like you're dead, you don't have to deal with the repercussions of it because you're dead.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Flying, yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of falls in with heights, wouldn't it? Maybe a
Yeah,
little bit.
it falls in with
That's like
heights.
that's
There's
like
a
an
natural fear.
actual
There's a natural fear of heights, and
for sure. That's like an actual threat, right?
yeah,
You go
yeah,
to the edge of a cliff, you fall, you die, or
yeah.
you're hurt very
When you think,
severely.
your body's
Yeah,
like, "What am I doing up in the air? I don't belong up in the air." So,
exactly.
that's a normal fear. But fears can also be inherited generationally, just like epigenetics trauma
Mhm.
through, right? And so if we don't investigate our fears, then they just kind of they take over. And when we
Right.
realize that a fear is really it's an imprint that's had
Mhm.
a lot of control, but we can rewire that.
Mm. And
We
how? How do we rewire it?
Well, first by identifying this is a fear.
Mm.
Like, oh, this is a fun thing that I did from when in my 30s when I was just starting to crack the nutshell on all my fears.
Mhm.
And I was in my home cleaning up and I had all these fears. I was getting this inundation of like so many stories and fears and everything. And I just went, stop. And I was thinking about it, I went, man, I said, these fears are like a really bad door to door salesman that keep knocking and I keep buying.
Right,
And
yes.
then, and then that moment, I cracked it and then I brought some humor into it. So then
Mhm.
my technique for me at that time was like every time a fear came up, it's like, okay, it's another door to door salesman. I bought that fear before. It doesn't get me what I want.
Hmm.
It doesn't help me.
Yeah,
And
I've
so
already bought that vacuum. I don't
I would,
need it again.
so I'd like say, thank you. I've got a whole cupboard of your things in the back and I'm going somewhere else now. And they didn't give me what you promised. And so bringing
Interesting.
in some playfulness into it too, because we also, when we're fearful, we get so serious,
Yes.
right? And we close our circuits. So we have I call it closed circuit thinking.
Yeah.
But when we're fearful, we need actually some open circuits. We need to open thoughts in
Mhm.
order to navigate it. Otherwise, it just narrows and smothers us, right?
Mhm.
So finding, self-knowingness, know thyself. That's one of the best ways. Understanding what happens when I see this or what happens when I hear this. Where does it go? And then
Mhm.
start to breathe. The breath work is the ultimate tool. 24/7.
Mm.
It's our master healer. Because the moment we do like a breath work I teach is like I did the other day, in for 5 and out for 5 with a ha, it naturally recalibrates our nervous system and
Mm.
helps to balance out so that we can come back to coherent thinking with our frontal cortex
Right.
and start to really find solutions or
Yeah.
redirects that bring us where we want to be versus being controlled where we don't want to be by these fears.
Right. Well, I think people forget like when you're going through something, there's trauma, there's a situation where, you're scared for your life, whatever, you're in that fight or flight, right?
Yes.
It's like a mechanism to survive. It's
Yes,
survival mode.
absolutely.
And so
Yeah.
you're not even thinking with that part of your brain. And so, I mean, you're breathing, obviously, if you're being chased by a bear and you're running away, like you're just like
Yeah.
whatever you can to
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah.
But it's when you stop and, refocus that breath, that bear is gone, the attack is gone,
Mm.
and now you're out of breath because your body's starting to come back to center here. And so it's really like finding that breath even in the more quiet moments. Like for a lot of people, especially people who go through trauma, like you might live in a state of fight or flight.
Oh, yeah. I was
And
there, so I can say that I was there for many years,
yeah.
and it was a lot of work. It's not easy, but it's possible.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's the thing. As long as it's something is possible, then that means there's a way that I can move through it. And
That's
when we
cool.
un and when we understand that our fears are not set in stone, they're not absolute truth, but they can be observed from a different perspective, and that different perspective can help free us,
Mhm.
integrate the breath and, you know, ways that we can come back into ourselves,
Mhm.
right? Where we reset the mechanism of fight or flight, we come back into our frontal cortex. So I teach the heart math method too. It's a scientific method developed to help the nervous system recalibrate and,
Mm,
and regain buoyancy in stressful situations.
interesting.
And the beauty is our biology is wired to heal. We are, we are wired to
We
heal.
are.
We're wired to change. But again, when we get caught in our closed circuits, even though the closed circuits don't feel good, they're still safe because we
Right.
know.
Yeah.
And
That
so
is.
when we,
No, you go ahead.
yeah, and so when we can at least have that knowledge is power when we're able to comprehend it and apply it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how we can redirect and change our biology. Even our brain is open a third of a second of every single second for a new command.
Wow.
Yeah. When I learned that in the center of my trauma healing, I'm like, man, I'm going to harness every freaking third of a second I can.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Right?
rewiring this baby.
Yeah. And I did, and I'm here. And now I help other people to do that. So it works, but it's practice. It's not
Well,
like
and it
overnight.
makes sense too, because people's behavior is based on conditioning, right? You've conditioned yourself to go one way. Now let's
Yes.
condition you to go to the other way.
Yeah. And it's hard at first, like going to the
Yeah,
gym. You're not going to
of
get the
course.
muscles you want with one lift,
It sucks and
right?
it hurts.
And,
Yeah,
yeah, and then the more it
you're
hurts,
dreading it.
the more it'll come to be. And so,
Mhm.
gaining a healthier understanding of fear, so that it's no longer the boogeyman that can devour me, but
Yeah.
actually a force that I can work with, and I can even come to understand and know myself through.
Mhm.
I can take
Mhm.
better care of myself. And then when I take better care of myself, then I can take better care of all my relationships and my work. Everything can thrive. But if I'm constantly in, like, here I am, and then fear, and then here I am, and fear. If I'm
It's
constantly in that
exhausting.
cycle, right, then we also, our self esteem goes down.
Mhm.
So we feel like we can't trust our body, that our body's betraying us, right? And so there's
Well, the
all these
stress
layers
levels,
you have to.
your your stress levels are up, your sleep is down. Like for a lot of us, especially women, like the weight gets piled
Oh,
on as
cortisol,
well.
yeah, the
There's a
belly.
physiological
Yeah,
response to having,
yes.
adrenal fatigue.
Yes, and so when we can understand that and we don't buy into the fear anymore, we say to that salesman, "Hey, I see you.
Mhm.
I've heard you many times, but I'm not going to go there anymore." And I love the acronym FEAR, false evidence appearing real,
That's cool.
and it is. Aside
So
from the natural biological fears we have, it is false
yeah,
evidence.
except for falling, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Since having cancer, I often am like, oh my gosh, this pain is this pain is that. Every time I get a pain, I'm like, and it is scary and it is debilitating. And at this point, I've had everything scanned over and over again. And at this last scan, it was of my brain, came back clear. And I was like, we're done letting this control you. You're
Yes.
going to be fine. You're going to just work through this. If it's a pain, like if it's a headache, maybe you're dehydrated.
Yeah.
Maybe your jaw is sore. Maybe you ate something that, whatever. Maybe you slept funny. Maybe it's not brain cancer. And
Yeah.
so, trying to rewire my brain to think that, because of course we're always worst case scenario people. I mean, Sharon is saying too, like fearing is the worst survival mechanism, making a plan for the worst,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is what we do. But she's also saying that it allows us to realize that we can handle everything. So that's true. If I can get through that, right? Like to me, then I can get through anything.
Yeah, and fear is a messenger. I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna say that it's wrong or right or bad. It's just a messenger. It's an
Right.
information
Yeah.
for me to know myself and to navigate, right? And
Mhm.
so, like faith over fear. What is faith? A
Mhm.
lot of people just attribute it to religion, but faith
Right.
is really, it's really the trust in the universal laws of nature that govern everything, that something good can come out of this too.
Right. Yes. Believing in something more,
Yeah, and
whether it's something better is going to happen or there's a plan or everything's going to be okay or whatever the
Or
faith
or
is.
like understanding the cycles of nature, life,
Yeah.
death, rebirth, and destruction, creation. So
Mhm.
understanding that even if something gets destroyed, there is always the potential for new creation.
Mhm.
But I'm the one in the driver's seat of where I go with it.
Right.
So for me in my journey of recovering trauma and building resilience, is I've come to see that resilience isn't just about pushing through. It's about recreation.
Yeah.
Nature recreates. It activates the creative faculties to recreate. to push that grass through the cement.
Yeah.
So to bring creativity into the whole process.
Yes. Well, and so speaking of that, and also you said the word creed also. So like I'm sorry, we got excited dogs around here. Anyway, oh my gosh, it was such a terrible idea bringing my dog in here today. Sorry, you talk. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things too, I just had a client here for a retreat, and she was confusing worry with intuition, because sometimes she had an intuition and she didn't listen to it, but she thought it was just worry. And worry keeps us in circles. Intuition gives us a direction. And so, but when we have past traumas, the two get kind of convoluted with each other, and then we have a harder time discerning. So again, once we get a handle on understanding our fears, the mechanisms that happen, where I go when certain situations or certain thoughts happen, and I come into my breath and I come into the moment, because in this moment, that fear does not exist. There's only this moment. The reality, like what I'm projecting, doesn't exist. So coming back into this moment and then learning to listen to my body of truth, because our body cannot lie. It cannot deceive us. Our mind, we can rationalize a million things and convince ourselves of the exact opposite of what is true, but our body cannot do that. So the whole thing is to know our fears and excavate them, explore them. Don't fear the fears anymore, but explore them, and then find the way back to our own biology of truth, of the moment of now. And then those simulations start to get quieter, the volume goes down, the images fade, and then we come back more into an alignment. And I've practiced this and I help my clients do that. So
I love that.
it does work, but it takes work.
It does take
A
work.
lot of willpower, a lot of determination to say, I'm gonna grow, I'm gonna make this better. But yeah, it's possible. And fear is one of the main things that, they call it the mind killer for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
It's okay.
dogs are just very excited.
Yeah. Okay.
Ron is saying everyone is hoping for a doggy appearance. I'm going to throw this dog out. You continue to talk about this for 10 seconds. No, I'm not going to bring him on. He's annoying. Okay. 1 second.
So anyways, well, for listeners, I'm going to invite you to do some breath work with me while we're waiting. And it's a breath work of 8 for 5.
I am so sorry, everyone.
And out for 5.
I'm so sorry.
So I was just inviting them to do breath work while you're away. 8 for 5.
Yeah. So because I hurt my back this morning or last night or whenever it was, I asked my mom to drop off my grandma's walker. That's how bad my back is.
Oh,
and
bless.
So I was like, I texted her, I said, I'm on a podcast though, so do not come to the door. Well, she came to the door.
Oh, that's why the doggies started barking.
The dogs are very excited. And because I have my big one in the room with me because he just had surgery, he hears the little ones barking and he is losing his mind. So I do apologize about that.
Oh, no worries. Little dog.
Grandma Becky, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a cool segment. I like that. I can't wait to talk to you on my own podcast where we can talk for like an hour straight about this.
Beautiful.
Instead of a quick 15-minute segment. So let me get into the next segment here, just so we have enough time to get to everything today. Okay. These are cool facts or random facts, whatever you want to call it. I just thought these were so awesome. I'm keeping it light today, especially because I don't feel great. I didn't want to go too deep. Did you know that a villain is not allowed to use an iPhone on movies? So Apple has an exclusive in their policy with movie directors.
No
if
way.
a person in a movie uses an iPhone, they're either the protagonist or a neutral cast, but never the villain.
Wow.
So those Android users are the villains, I guess.
Wow, that
Crazy.
Is wild. That's a conscious conditioning, right? Of our mind,
exactly.
Right?
To make you think, oh, Apple is good. Oh, Samsung's bad.
Wow, what a clever strategy. Holy cow.
That's like a pretty bold strategy too, to say like all movies. So Ron is a big movie buff. I wonder if he's ever noticed this, or maybe, we know he'll watch a movie today. Look for it and see if you can see anything like that. I just thought that was wild.
That is wild. Yeah.
Here's another one. It has to do with birth. I think this one is so sweet. After birth, your baby's cells remain inside of your body for decades, sometimes even for life. It's nature's way of keeping you connected and reminding you to nurture and protect them forever.
Yeah, I remember reading that years ago and thinking, wow, that's
Beautiful.
phenomenal. Yeah.
It's probably why, moms are so connected to their children. I mean, yeah, growing them obviously helps.
Yeah.
But you just have to think like these moms who do something to their kids, hurt their kids, whatever, have no emotion for them. It's just like, where did that go so far
I had a mother
off
like that,
track?
unfortunately. Yeah. But
Oh,
also, she was my greatest teacher and
right.
understanding all this stuff. But yeah, no, she didn't have that. Yeah. She left when I was 7 and she was
Oh,
emotionally abusive. Yeah. My whole life. It was like the typical narcissist, and
yeah.
it had her soul, which sometimes appeared when she had a beautiful heart. She was a wounded child as well. But her
Hmm.
survival mechanism, her fears drove her to that kind of abuse, right? And
Well,
and we can just say, just drawing on the other one, that's the dark side of fear if we don't get
yes.
it under control,
Right,
right?
is letting it consume you, right?
Yes,
Well, knowing that your baby's cells, another human being's cells live inside you
yeah,
as their mother, I mean, the trauma must be so great that it
mm,
overshadows that biological need to nurture.
absolutely, and it was.
Crazy.
So, yeah, it's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
so
sorry you went through that. That's
yeah,
not
I
good.
know. Thank you. It's been my curriculum of learning
Yeah,
and
I can imagine. Well, if it's your greatest teacher, I mean, it makes sense.
yeah, and, yeah.
Okay, here's an interesting one. You only breathe through one nostril at a time, and the body automatically switches between them through the
Yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah, it's true. I've heard that before too. Yeah,
I can't, I don't know. I don't know if you're mindful of it or if it just is. That's peculiar.
it's wild. One of the magical miracles of our body that
Totally.
just knows what to do
Yeah.
without us trying to direct it, right? It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So this is a cool one. This is where a certain phrase comes from. So when crocodiles eat their prey, their sinuses get blocked, leading them to cry.
Oh,
Then they cry after feeding, and that's the reason behind crocodile tears.
cool. I
So they're
didn't
not
know
actually crying; they're just they're stuffed up.
from eating their
Yeah,
prey.
that's
Wow.
funny.
Wow.
Yeah,
Incredible. Beautiful.
yeah.
Facts. It's so fun. Yeah.
I love random facts.
Yeah.
This one blew my mind. A dream can feel like an hour, of course. Dreams are insane. But in reality, it probably only took about 5 seconds. I thought it would maybe 5 minutes, but it says 5 seconds. It says everyone you see in your dream actually exists. You've probably seen them without taking note because your mind cannot generate a new face.
Wow.
Uh, So it's like literally historical, like what you're dreaming. Maybe, the context has changed, but like it is historical.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
That's
know.
really,
Psychology is so crazy to me. I love it. So
yeah.
here's another psychological fact here. It says there's a psychological phenomenon called the frequency illusion. It's when you come into contact with new information and it frequently pops up, not because it's repetitive, but because you just noticed it. It's also called the red car theory. But in this particular context, it talks about how you have to specify your goals and dreams so you notice it when an opportunity presents itself and how frequently it presents itself. So that's why you're like writing it down, your dream, you're saying it out loud, whatever. So the whole theory is, hey, I never ever see red cars. And then you see a red car. Now every car is a red car,
Yeah. It's
right?
the reticular activating system in the brain.
Yeah.
That, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah. It's
But
incredible.
so it's saying like if you tell your dreams, your goals, now instead of missing it, now it's going to be presenting itself more often, not because there's more of it, but because you just weren't paying attention before, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a neural connection,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Of possibility. That's so cool.
I loved that one. It's another one that I enjoyed. The smell of old books. You get an old book. There's a certain sweetness to it. It's hard to explain what it is, but it says the smell of old books comes from lignin. Am I saying that right? Lignin, a compound in paper. It's chemically similar to vanilla. As the books age, the lignin breaks down and releases vanillin, giving them that nostalgic and slightly sweet scent. So you're not crazy if you smell an old book and it smells sweet. It's actually sweet.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
cool.
Isn't
These
that
are
cool?
cool facts. I love this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I'm like trivia nerd. I love it. If
Awesome.
you were to write out every number, by letter, so 1 ONE, 2 TWO, you wouldn't use the letter B until you reached 1 billion. When you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it makes sense. So 1 billion is the first time you use the letter B in the numbers.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah. This one I actually had to do on a calculator to make sure that it was accurate. 1,000,000 seconds is the equivalent to 11 days, but 1 billion seconds is the equivalent to 31 years. So the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire
is
massive.
huge. Wow.
Massive. I mean, for most of us, you can absolutely live off $1 million. But
Mhm.
can you imagine living off $1 billion? Whew.
Wow.
Crazy. So this makes me wonder, people like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, like all these rich people, maybe not Warren Buffett, because I think he's trying to get rid of his money. But for these other guys, you have billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Why are we ever like when there's like a natural disaster and it's like, we need your help. The Red Cross needs you. Like why doesn't Elon Musk give us a 0.0001% of his money and take care of all of the entire disaster?
Yeah. I
I
would.
don't get it.
Yeah. I hear
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I've got one more here. The Earth actually takes about 365 days and 6 hours to complete a trip around the sun. So we got that extra 6 hours a year. But for convenience, we ignore that 6 hours. And over 4 years, the ignored extra 6 hours accumulates to a full day, which is why we have a leap year every 4 years.
I never fully understood that before.
I
Why
didn't
that
either.
was. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I didn't either. So very cool. Love me some facts. Thought that one was pretty awesome for today. Just nice and light, easy read.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It got me thinking. That math one, the 11 years or 11 days and 31 years, that one really got me thinking, but it definitely pans out. Did the math.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to your last one here. We are talking affirmations as
Yeah.
a tool. I am excited to hear about this one.
Yeah. So I'm going to add a fact which will help lead into this too. Is the natural lifespan of any emotion biologically is only 90 seconds.
Whoa, really?
Yes. Everything else after that is because we're feeding it and brooding it with our thinking. Right. So affirmations, oftentimes people think affirmations are positive thinking, but they're not positive thinking. Positive thinking, is more like a smear covering what's really there. But affirmations are about getting deep into what's there. So accessing a deeper truth. When I was in my 20s, I was caught in a narcissistic abusive relationship, and I didn't know it until a bit late, but I got out of it. And in that time, I met this woman who introduced me to Louise Hay. Are you familiar with Louise Hay?
The name sounds familiar, but I would say no.
Pioneer of bringing affirmations into the mainstream.
Okay.
She was I believe it was in her late 50s, and she was diagnosed with cancer and given 6 months to live.
Jeez.
And she's like, no, I'm not on board with that. So she started doing all kinds of explorations, psychosomatics, the meaning behind what her beliefs may be contributing. She ended up living until she was 94.
Wow.
Because of affirmations.
Well, I know when I was sick, a lot of, the research I was doing, the people I was talking to, the nurses, the doctors, whomever, they all just kept saying, you have a great attitude. Like, for the nurses, I've seen a lot of people go through here, through the cancer center, whatever. They're like, you're going to pull through because your attitude is so much better. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I had my dark days for sure, where I was like, why
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for the most part, it was like, it's just something that I have, and I'm just going to deal with it, and it will be great.
Yeah.
And that's
So
how
that
I
was your,
kept it.
so that
But
was
the
your
people,
dominant direction, right?
yeah, but all the people that I know who were like, oh, it's this, it's that, whatever, it's
Yeah.
like they don't seem to get better. And
Yeah.
it's not saying that they can't or that they won't. It's just like it seems like the more they think that the world is coming down on them, the more it is.
The Chicken Little,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, exactly.
It ties in. And so the thing, a part of that is too, is because when we are in a fear state, we're releasing continuous adrenaline and cortisol, which
Mm-hmm.
creates more inflammation in the body.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps us inflamed. And so
Yeah.
that's why redirecting and rewriting how we think and perceive is so essential. And affirmations are a really amazing way to do that. It's like
Mm.
if you have like this one he put here, I am more than enough. Well, it's a fact. We are all more than enough. We have
Right.
infinite capacities. It's not you know a woo woo, oh, you're enough. It's like, actually, no, fundamentally we are more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
We have so much capacity. And
Right.
if we paste something like that, we put it in different rooms, when we have a message we're wanting to wire into ourselves like that, then even if we don't read it every day, my unconscious mind still observes it and perceives it in the room.
Right.
And therefore I'm aligning, and that's in
Mm.
training me. Just like the iPhone with the villains and non-villains. It's
Right.
it's a similar way. So we can entrain ourselves to align with facts and truth that lift us and build us,
Mm.
versus believing the false evidence that appears real,
Right.
which then keeps us down. It keeps us in fear. It keeps our body totally acidic. And
Yes.
that is a part of cancer. When I was in Europe, I
Mm-hmm.
studied movement therapy. And actually, one of the models, it was called biodanza from Argentina. It's implemented in cancer clinics.
Okay. I could see
because
that.
because they recognize that a common component they found is that the women, it was specifically for women, is that there was a subverting of truth, of not allowing themselves to feel what they feel, to speak what's
Mm-hmm.
true. They put everything and everyone in front of themselves, and so there was like this swallowing of what was true. And what happens? Energy is movement, thoughts are movement, feelings,
Mm-hmm.
right? If we swallow those emotions, they build in our body. And so what they found is that this expressive dance helped them actually recover faster and helped give them more strength and vitality, because they were in the realm of expression and movement
Mm-hmm.
and getting stuff out through dance. And I studied for 11 years, and I created my own methodology as well many, many years ago. And so understanding that when we give a creative direction to our fears, when we give a creative direction to whatever we're going through, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't take away, I'm feeling this and I feel like crap. And it doesn't take that away. But what it does is it sort of provides us a life raft to navigate through it,
Right.
rather than to stay stuck in it.
That's
And
cool.
that's the difference between affirmations and positive thinking.
Okay.
This is like that life raft that nourishes us through the storm, keeps us
Mm.
afloat through the storm. We still have to go through the storm. We have to meet our fears. We have to go through the process. That doesn't change. We have to feel what we feel in order to heal.
Mm-hmm.
But it helps create an environment of nourishment
Mm.
to be able to heal.
So how would people implement positive affirmations? Like in the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror. That's when I always see it, like online. But like, what is there a certain time of day that you would benefit more from it, or I don't
Anytime, anytime,
anytime? Okay.
and putting them in your mirror in the bathroom. Like I have these affirmations here, that these are the original copies that I had in my home, and I had a loft, and it was an angled bed. I had them right there, so that was the first thing I saw in
Mm,
the morning, right?
cool.
And like this one I created all these years ago. Being myself allows the wholeness of my unique magnificence to draw me in those directions most beneficial to me and to all others. I trust all
Mm,
as well. So I have about 6 of them that I was with for years and years, and they really, really helped me anchor that truth because it's true and help me
Right.
align with that possibility. So we want to align with our possibilities. That's what we want to do. And so affirmations are also a tool to help encourage that, to not give up, to not quit, to feed that part of ourself. And this
Yeah.
last year, this is a funny story. So I had a call from the Canadian Revenue and they wanted to audit me. This was a few months ago. And I got terrified because I had an experience with an authority in Switzerland where I got thrown out of the country because of a
Oh,
law I
okay.
didn't know. So I lost the life I had built in 4 years and 24 hours. And so all of a sudden that all that trauma came back into my body. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to handle this for like a month? I got to wait until they come, right?
Yeah.
But what I did is like I did what I say, creative. And so I ended up creating a deck of affirmation cards.
Oh, wow.
And that was my creativity out of that traumatized state to process
Yeah.
the trauma that I didn't fully process before. Now life gave me a new situation to bring
Hmm.
it out so I could. And so I asked Ron if I could pull a card and just share an affirmation and see what
Yeah.
comes up. And so, yeah, for me, they were pivotal to every challenge that I've ever had is finding an affirmation that resonated with that deeper truth of either what I'm wanting to move towards or a quality in me that I want to embrace so that I can let
Hmm.
go of beliefs and patterns and things that aren't serving me.
Hmm.
Here, this is the one I pulled up. I step into my power and trust that my voice, my presence, and my actions create positive change in the world.
Love that.
So that's the card.
That's amazing.
And so, yeah, and you can feel that as soon as words have power. I mean,
Yes, they
first
do.
was the word. Words have frequency. Masaru Emoto, the Japanese scientist, proved that
Yes.
words create an effect on water molecules.
Water. That's right.
Right? So there's so much scientific evidence for this as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's also that same with the plant psychology. You
Yes,
talk nice
yes.
to your plant, it grows. And so, for example, my friend and I always, as a joke, would be like, "Ugh," like when we would try to lose weight and couldn't because we'd be snacking and be like, "You piece of garbage." And for years, I called my body a piece of garbage.
Oh,
And now, having gone through cancer, it was like, my body is not garbage. It
uh,
protected me through all of it. And so, like, I had a client yesterday who said the same thing, like, "Oh, you fat piece of," like, as a joke about herself. And I was just like, don't say
no, because your body
that.
listens. Our body
Yeah,
listens to
your
every
body
thought.
listens. So if
Yeah.
every day you wake up and you're just like, my body is strong and capable and it's going to do amazing things today, it's a heck of a lot different than you fat piece of garbage.
Yeah, yeah.
You can
And
hear it a
oh,
lot different.
exactly. Or I might not, I don't know now, but I'll find a way.
Yes.
That's also right. It's okay to
Yes.
acknowledge it because one of the fears we have this idea that if we don't know something, then the world's going to end,
Hmm.
right? But it's like, okay, I don't know my next step, but I know that I'll find my way into it, so I can breathe
Yeah.
with that, right? Just because life is always moving, the river is never the same, and
Hmm.
that we are a part of that flow of life unless we get stuck in the fear that locks us in our own simulation and then that becomes our reality. So
Hmm.
affirmations are a tool for that too. There's all kinds of different ones. Louise Hay, I recommend looking her up.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Her main book is You Can Heal Your Life, and it's
Hmm.
full of affirmations for every
I like
illness that we
that.
can think of.
I like
Yeah,
that.
it's very beautiful. So yeah, I will
Very
recommend.
cool. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. I hope everyone takes something from that today. Go tell yourself something powerful that you can do or your body, is capable of, right?
And it has to align with the truth because again, our
Yeah.
body is the measure of truth. It knows,
Yeah.
right?
You're not like, I'm going to lose 50 pounds today, body,
Yeah,
like, no, but I'm going to go for a walk today, even though I need
yeah,
a walker to do
yeah,
it, but
yeah.
my body is strong enough to go through that.
Yes,
So that's what's going to happen today.
yes.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We have reached the top of the hour here. I'm Becky. This is Luannah. Join me tomorrow where it's JJ and myself again. And make sure you check us out on all of our socials. Again, we are back 10 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Mountain time for tomorrow. And where are we? What day is it today? Gosh, is it Wednesday? So we're back Saturday after that as well with Ira and Lena. And then we got Kenny and Ron, and we've got all the days planned out except for Friday. So
Beautiful.
join us again. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.